So our clue for today, the 1st of December, is she emerged from a park smelling of roses on this day. Who do you think this is? Keep watching for the answer. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sotonie Afiesimala. If you're a subscriber, thanks for your support. If you're a returning visitor, I appreciate you dropping by once again. Why not subscribe so that you receive updates of my video uploads? If you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel where I discuss events that occurred on this day in history with a view to informing, hopefully entertaining, and most importantly, I will learn lessons from the positive events and also the negative events that have occurred on this day, with the hope that we do not repeat these mistakes, because as the saying goes, history tends to repeat itself. So guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let's get cracking with today's important events as recorded in history. First of all, we shall start in our usual tradition by rolling back the blind. The year we're going to go back to is 1761. So, what happened on this day? All will be revealed. So this lady's name is Madame Tussaud. And the Tussaud name sounds familiar. Yes, this is the person who started Madame Tussaud. So the founder of Madame Tussaud's Museum of Wax Figures was born in France on this day in 1761. So for those of you who don't know what Madame Tussaud is all about, it's a museum of wax figures. It has thousands and thousands of wax figures of important people, from presidents to actors and actresses, comedians, sportsmen and women, you name it. All the famous people who have lived in recent times have a wax figure in Madame Tussaud's museum. Okay, so I think the concept is a stroke of genius. And visitors pile into Madame Tussaud's every single day. Well, don't know what's happening now thanks to the coronavirus. But yes, Madame Tussaud's is one of the landmarks in London and major cities around the world as well. Okay, so this is a woman behind Madame Tussaud's, Marie Tussaud, the founder of the Madame Tussaud's Museum of Wax Figures. In 1935, so nearly 200 years later, American filmmaker Woody Allen was born. He's best known for his bittersweet comic movies containing elements of parody, slapstick humor, and the absurd. Yes, the absurd is a very, very fitting word for his movies. Richard Pryor, 5 years later, was born. And that's him pictured right here. Full name, Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor. He was an American stand-up comedian. He was an actor, a writer as well. He reached a broad audience with his trenchant observations and storytelling style, and is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential stand-up comedians of all time. So that is Richard Pryor, who we sadly lost on the 10th of December 2005. So just 9 days after his birthday, he died. So Richard Pryor again, born on this day in 1940. 5 years later, Bette Midler was born. She is pictured right here. Beautiful, aging gracefully, Bette Midler. She is an American singer, songwriter, actress, author, and comedienne. In a career spanning almost half a century, Midler has won 4 Golden Globe Awards, 3 Grammy Awards, 3 Primetime Emmy Awards, and a Tony Award. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, Midler began her professional career in several Off-Off-Broadway plays prior to her engagements in Fiddler on the Roof and Salvation on Broadway in the late 1960s. I just realized that Fiddler rhymes with Midler. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Was she chosen because of her last name? Probably. Probably not. But yeah, Fiddler on the Roof. Bette Midler does Fiddler on the Roof. Sounds quite rhythmic and poetic, doesn't it? Okay, 1955. Yeah, so this is back to the beginning of this video where I gave you a hint as to what I was going to talk about. She emerged from the park smelling of roses on this day. So she emerged from the park smelling of roses. So I'm referring to the beautiful Rosa Parks. So this was the day in 1955 that she refused to relinquish her boss seat. Now, for those of you who know a bit about American history, or those of you who don't know about American history, actually those are the people I should be addressing. Now, there was what's called segregation in America less than a century ago. Way less than a century ago. And so the laws were changing in the United States. You know, African Americans especially were agitating for equality. You know, there's all sorts going on. So apparently the buses, if an African American got on a bus, he or she would have to walk down to the back of the bus. Okay, so on this particular day, Rosa Parks is seated in the front of the bus. I think there were only African Americans on the bus on this day. So a white man walks in, and she, because she's African American, was meant to stand up and move to the back of the bus. I'm not sure if I'm getting this story right, but I don't think there were any other seats in the bus. You know, I don't think there were any other seats for her to move to. She was tired from work, and rightly so, she stood her ground. Pardon the pun, she didn't stand, she was seated. She said she wasn't going to move anywhere. And that, of course, sparked a nationwide protest. Buses were boycotted by African Americans for 381 days. And that protest was led by none other than Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, so this was the day in 1955 in violation of segregation laws in Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested. Okay, so that's the brave Rosa Parks who, on this day, December 1st, 1955, refused to relinquish her bus seat. And the rest, as I say, is history. 1958, last but not least. On this day, Arthur S. Fleming, pictured here, the U.S. Secretary of Health, Education and Welfare, reported that nearly 1 million student days were lost in 1958 by the closing of public schools to avoid integration. I mean, how ridiculous is that? 1 million student days were lost just because these people refused to integrate. I mean, I understand, you know, when you're used to doing something for such a long time, it becomes normal. It's hard to change. I understand that. But surely 1 million student days lost? Wow. You know, yeah, America's come a long way, but I think that we still have there's still a lot that needs to be done. It's not just America. Most of the Western world have made a lot of progress to fight racial inequality and other inequalities as well. The sexism, all the isms out there abound in our world. But you know, as we grow as human beings, I'm not talking about physical growth now, our mental state and psychologically, and the respect for human life, respect for the rights of people, irrespective of their color, their creed, you know, sexual orientation, their height, their weight, doesn't matter. What matters is who the person is within the heart of that person. I've given this example a few times, you know, how you are, I'm African, well, I'm African. I was just going to say I'm African American, I am African. and you have two friends, one's white, one's black. The black guy is basically not the sort of person you should be hanging around with. You know, the white guy is a good guy, he's got a good heart. You know, he's the kind of person you want to hang around with. Would you say just because this guy is black like me, I'm going to hang out with him just because he's black? Would you, two people involved in a crime, one is a black woman, one is a white woman. It's a black woman who committed the crime. You witnessed the crime, but police are investigating. You're the only witness to the crime. Would you point fingers at the white lady just because the black lady is your sister now, sister in court? Would you do that? You know, so these are questions, you know, some of us, black or white, so I could flip the story and tell it the other way as well. I'm saying it because I am black. You know, I've stuck with the black story because I am black. I'm not trying to denigrate my own race, but I'm just saying that we need to stick with truth over any other what's the word now? Sentiments. You know, sentiment doesn't come into this at all. Whoever is competent gets a job. Whoever is innocent should be set free, you know, irrespective of race. So that's my position on this. I think sometimes we take this race fight too far, you know, to the point that we want to now oppress the oppressor. But we're not asking, we don't want to oppress the oppressor. Most of us, I believe most of us don't want to oppress the oppressor. Most of us are fighting for equality. That's all. Equality. We want to be equal before the law, you know. Yeah, I think African Americans are sick and tired of being treated like second-class citizens in their own country. They were the only people who were forced against their will, obviously their ancestors, but against their will to a country that they've never been to. So that should be put into perspective. Again, not saying that you should hang out with someone who has questionable character just because he's of the same race as you. Okay, guys, this is where I end today in history. I don't want to go on and on talking about these sensitive issues, but you know they need to be addressed. You know, they need to be addressed. Thanks, guys, for your support. Thanks for watching. We have come to the end of today's Today in History for the 1st of December. I shall see you tomorrow, December 2nd, for another edition of Today in History. My name again is Sotonye Afiasi Mama. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye-bye.